Hello everyone, I have hopped back on. It's Eleanor and this is Pasolivo's happy hour, and we are going to be joined by Yes Cocktail, which I'm thrilled about. Everybody's kind of hopping back on. We had some technical difficulties and hopefully they are done and gone with. So if you're hopping on now, you just missed me talking, not much. Yeah, we've got Yes Cocktail hopping on hopefully, and I'm thrilled to have them. And I'm excited to share items with you guys, including the maple fig old fashioned that we've got, and we've got the La Llorona, which is a tequila or mezcal based cocktail. So we've got some really, really good stuff coming up for you guys to watch being created. I have the recipes, I'm not gonna lie, but you're not here for me. You're not here for me. You're here for Yes Cocktail. So I'm not gonna tease you with that. I'm not gonna like walk you through it unless I have to. Then I will. But for now, if you're making the cocktails with us, then you need this guy. You need our cilantro lime. So these two are going to be for La Llorona, as well as, and you're going to thank us for this because this is going to be used throughout your like October, Halloween month, and then beyond. The black lava sea salt. So good. Okay, and this is what's going to be rimming the glass. I did not do that in prep, but it is one of those salts that's just gorgeous on the glass. I love the big crystals. I know that you can kind of hand smush them down a little bit, mortar and pestle them down a little bit to have them a bit finer to rim the glass. But either way, this is one of those that is you're just gonna fall in love with. On top of guacamole, fish tacos, I mean, you name it. But so we've got the cilantro lime, the sparkling citrus, cilantro lime, olive oil, sparkling citrus vinegar, and that black lava sea salt. So if you purchase the bundle, that right there is something that is going to carry you through all kinds of fantastic recipes. Look at this. I'm so excited. I'm so excited. So they're gonna hop on. What? Oh no, there's a hand. Okay, there, yeah. Okay, technology, awesome.
Yeah, it's been really fun.
Oh man, okay, so I'm not sweating, you're sweating. It's fine. Good now.
Yeah, that was exciting. So, but now I'm here, and
You're
I
here.
was watching the whole time, just trying to join you. So I'm thrilled that now I'm a part of the live. Thank you.
You're hopped on. You may have heard me girl crushing just a little bit. I'll try to reel it in now that I'm looking at you and it's awkward. So I'll stop there.
Not at all. So thank you so much for the introduction and for making it happen while we figured out our technical difficulties. But now I'm here, and now we're ready to get to the actual fun part, which is making these cocktails, which I'm so excited about. And I'm so excited to show you how to use these products in a way, like you were saying earlier, a lot of people do not think of olive oil and vinegar when they think of a cocktail, but it's the way you should be thinking, because there's tons of great things that you can do. So without further ado, let's make a drink. So the first one I want to do today is the fig old fashioned. Of course, we're working with actual figs. We got some figs from the farmer's market. You can get them locally here in Paso. I'm sure you can find them at your grocery store as well, but they're in season right now. And we're going to be working with our charred oak and maple syrup, which is a bourbon barrel aged maple syrup. So it has a lot of the notes that you would taste in your favorite bourbon infused into a syrup. So it's like bourbon plus. It makes the most awesome old fashioned ever. And you heard me say bourbon a bunch of times, so we're going to use some bourbon, local from Crowbar Craft Distillery. So let's start with some muddling. We're going to take one of our fresh figs and just kind of twist off the top, and we're going to get any vessel that you have around. I'm just going to use a glass today. And we're going to take 2 ounces of bourbon and add that to our glass with our whole fig.
Okay, so this is before muddling.
We haven't muddled yet. We haven't muddled yet. We just have a fig hanging out in our glass.
I've
Now
always wondered whether you muddle before or after. So questions are being answered today.
Yeah, there's all different ways that you can do it. The point is you want to smush it up really well with the alcohol. If you muddle ahead of time, you might just end up kind of gunking up whatever you're using to muddle. This keeps everything kind of flowing and moving in your glass, which is ideally what you want. And with this infusion and with any fruit, you can feel free to do this ahead of time. You can muddle your fruit and your spirit together, put it in a mason jar, pop it in the fridge. You can even leave it on your counter. The longer it sits, the more flavor you're going to get. So it's not a bad idea to do it ahead. And we have been loving this drink so much personally that my husband and I have been muddling up some figs in bourbon and setting it aside for multiple drinks, so that way we don't have to mess around later. So that's a nice
that's genius, because that's when mistakes happen.
Exactly. You don't want to mess up your ratio 2 or 3 in. You're gonna notice.
Oh yeah, okay. But that's exactly what I do. I'm right off the bat, I mess things up. So watching you guys, I'm like, oh, that's how it's supposed to be done. Got it. She's measuring. Got it.
And with batching of any cocktail, people get nervous. They think, oh, I can't do too many ahead. As long as you don't add the ice, you're fine. You could batch up a whole pitcher of old fashions and just pour them over the ice as you go. That way you don't have to be your own bartender the whole evening if you're entertaining or enjoying on your own. So I just muddle together, and it does not look appealing at all. It's just kind of icky, swamp water looking. And we're gonna take that and we're gonna strain it. So I like to use just a small mesh strainer. I take my liquid and I pour it through. Now, fig is gonna hold a lot of that bourbon in there. We don't want the fig to keep the bourbon. We want the bourbon. So just take the back of your bar spoon. And you may have noticed I am using the back of a bar spoon to do my muddling. If you don't have a muddler at home, you can absolutely use the back of a bar spoon, or really any implement that's gonna be flat and let you smush.
So I see that you've got the green figs.
Yes.
There are a bunch of different types of figs. Does it matter?
It doesn't. What really matters is that they're fresh. You don't want to use a dried fig. In this instance, we are looking to extract some kind of a juice out of the fig. And if it's dried, it's going to take much longer to infuse in the bourbon. We could do a fig-infused bourbon with dried figs, but you're going to want at least a week for that to sit. So we're doing a fast extraction. We're working with fresh. All right, so we've got our fig pulp. It's all pushed through, so we have nice figgy bourbon and no pieces. We don't want any of those fig bits in there, any of those seeds. Okay, so we've got our fig infused bourbon. Now let's talk about the vinegar. We are going to use 1/4 of an ounce. So this is a fig balsamic. And with cocktails, you need a balance of sweet, acid, and spirit. And in this case, the balsamic is serving as our acid. We're not going to use any other kind of citrus juice. We're going to use the vinegar. And that's going to give that right tangy quality that we want in our cocktail. Not too sweet. We don't want to have it overpowered by our spirit either. And we're going to use our charred oak and maple syrup. Again, a small amount here, just 1/4 of an ounce. So we balanced our acid and our sweet, which is a hallmark of a quality cocktail. You want to have the balance between your acidity and your sweetness. And you'll see that reflected through both cocktails today. Just going to give that a light little stir. And now, the magic ingredient, bitters. We're using an aromatic bitters. The brand is Angostura. It's the one that you're going to see behind every bar. It's that one with the oversized label. It's white. Oh, I have it. Angostura bitters. But any aromatic bitters will do. They all have a similar flavor profile. So we just
how many drops was that?
3 dashes. So a dash is about half of a pipette that you see right here. But if you don't have a dasher, that's totally fine. The lid of your bitters bottle should come with one. So if you invert it completely and do 3 dashes, you're good to go. Okay. Now that is how easy that cocktail is. It's only those ingredients plus ice.
That seems like a ridiculously big glass for you.
It is. So this is just my mixing glass. It's just my vessel that I'm combining in my ice. So I'm gonna put in my ice, and I'm just using regular ice from your freezer. You don't need a fancy ice for an old fashioned, although it is nice. And I'm gonna stir. Now the stir is just about dilution. I'm just adding some water to my cocktail as well as chilling it. And both of these things you don't want to do too much of. So let's say I filled up a whole pitcher of old fashions. That's fantastic. Don't add the ice until you're ready to serve. But I'm ready to serve. So now I'm going to take my chilled old fashioned and my glass. I'm going to add some ice to my glass. 1 large ice cube is ideal, but if you just have regular ice like me, that's fine. And I'm going to strain out the ice I used to chill it over the fresh ice.
That always confuses me. Why aren't we using that same ice?
It's a good question. In this particular case, we would want to strain out the ice because we've already used up that ice, we've chilled it, and we want more ice because we might want a little more dilution. Sometimes we do what's called open pour, where we dump it all right in, but in this case, we want to use a fresh piece of ice, usually because it's meant to be pretty. And of course, we need a garnish. So we're going to take one of our dehydrated orange slices and put it right on top. And we have made a maple fig old fashioned.
I have one here too. What do you know?
It's magic.
The magic of technology. Well, cheers. I know people are really thrilled about this idea of using these items in cocktails. Your mixing bits and pieces are just fantastic. So I know people are jumping online. I know people are going to be all up on your business trying to figure this out. So I'm going to take a sip. Cheers.
Take a sip.
Happy
Cheers.
Friday.
Happy Friday. Yeah, I think what's amazing about this cocktail is that although it has the vinegar in it, it's not like you taste vinegar. It's not. It's perfectly balanced. You taste just that nice, big, rich balsamic taste, the sweetness from the maple, and then of course delicious bourbon. What else do you want?
It's no, it's perfectly balanced. People are starting to mention that they need one as well.
They do.
Yeah, sorry. Technology got it to me, but it did not get it anywhere else.
Sorry, the instant couldn't do it everywhere.
Yeah, but
This one is fabulous. No joke. Ever since we developed this recipe, I've been drinking it at home, and it's been my go-to cocktail. I haven't gotten sick of it yet, so I think it's a winner.
And it's also, it's a nod to the fall weather, the fall fruits. I mean, this is something right after a Thanksgiving meal I would love to sip on. You know, I feel like this is I was going to say family friendly, but I should probably not give this to my 6-year-old, but.
You could try it with a little cider.
There you go.
Some apple
There you
cider
go.
for kids. Make them
Nice.
Yeah.
You have the answers for everything. I appreciate that.
I try.
I definitely feel like that if somebody mixed up a picture of that and had that, that's really going to wow the family, and it's going to maybe loosen everybody up so nobody talks about religion or politics, maybe, or maybe everybody will after that. I don't know. But but it is a fantastic cocktail that I think a lot of people can get behind. So it's not very specified. Like I think a lot of palates will enjoy this one.
I think so too. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think for me, I always struggle to have a cocktail that appeals to the whole family, especially the dads and the grandpas out there.
Totally.
They really only like old fashions. And so this is a way to get the old fashioned on the menu, but put a really fun spin on it and introduce them to something new, maybe like a gateway cocktail. Maybe they'll be willing to try something more adventurous next year. You never know.
There you go. All right. So we're going to transition into La Llorona, but we're talking about, I'm so sorry we can't send this to you, but you can kind of order it. You can hop onto pasolivo.com and then order the bits and pieces to make all of this, and then hop on over to yescocktail.com. Is that right?
Yescocktailco.com.
Co.com. Do not forget the CO. It's a CO. How do they, is there like, hey, this was just featured, or how do they know, or just look up the name?
Yes, just look up the items and put your cart together. We were going to put together a kit that included the garnishes, but we didn't know if everybody would want the garnishes. So we're leaving the option up to you. You can do it with or without garnish. But yeah, just build your cart and we ship nationwide. So you should have no trouble.
Fantastic. Okay, cool. So you can kind of choose your own bourbon. You can always hop on to Crowbar because yes, Crowbar has fantastic bourbon. And they're people that we've worked with before as well. You guys probably remember that. But also, I mean, you can choose your own bourbon. If you've got stuff at home, you probably have stuff at home. It's Corona. Everybody's got booze at home right now. And then you can order from both places. I'm promising you guys that once you get onto the Yes Cocktail Co. website, it won't be just the stuff that you put in your cart. That is a promise.
We have oodles of products and
so cool.
Even more right now because we're approaching the holiday season. So lots of things to stuff stockings with, or just enjoy some drinks with your family this holiday. It's a lot of fun to drink together, I think.
Oh, I love it. So we've got a mezcal or tequila based drink coming up.
Yes.
Tell us about it.
Okay, so this cocktail is so much fun. I love working with mezcal. A lot of folks are a little gun shy about it because it does have a very smoky taste. But this particular cocktail, with the balance of the spicy blood orange and the citrus vinegar, it makes just such a beautiful combination. It won't smoke you out, so to speak. It won't be too much smoke. But if you are not really into mezcal, awesome with tequila. And you could really swap out any clear spirit. You could use gin or vodka as well. But this was definitely intended for an agave-based spirit. So mezcal or tequila. And this one, we are actually not going to stir, we're going to shake. And most of the time when you see a shaken cocktail, it's because it contains citrus of some kind. And a stirred cocktail contains all alcohol. Now I know we broke that rule a little bit because we just stirred a cocktail that didn't just contain all alcohol, but it contains no citrus. So that's an important distinction. You don't want to over rattle around your citrus or over rattle around your alcohol. You can do it to citrus and you want it. So I'm going to grab a shaker.
So did you just call out 007? Did you just call out James Bond?
I did. I have a big problem with that line, as do a lot of people who know about cocktails, because it breaks one of the cardinal rules of mixology. And we're trying to teach people mixology, not mess it up for them. So, you know.
Thanks a lot, Pierce Brosnan.
Yeah, right. That's okay. He can have his martini however he wants. And so can all of you. This cocktail, we do intend to shake. So we're going to start with our shaker tin, and we're going to, again, measure out 2 ounces of spirit. I'm going to use the mezcal because I love it, but you can use your tequila, whatever you have, whatever you love. And 2 ounces is kind of the standard when it comes to making a cocktail. 1.5 ounces would be kind of a lighter drink. 2 ounces is usually what you're aiming for. So 2 ounces of our spirit, and then we're going to measure out our blood orange chili pepper mixer. This one is how this cocktail got its spooky, scary name. It's because this is spicy. It has the sweetness in it too. So think of it like using an orange curacao or Grand Marnier in a cocktail, but with a spicy kick. So one of our faves. And we're going to use a full ounce of this. We want to taste that heat.
I love the balance of sweet and heat together. Yes. It's
important. It's highly important. All right, so now we need our acidity, right? We talked all about that balance. So we're going to do 1/4 ounce of vinegar and 1/4 ounce of lime juice. Super important that we use fresh, real lime juice. It looks like mine is not fresh or real, but I just squeezed it in advance because no one wants to watch someone squeeze citrus. That is boring. And we're going to use a mole bitters. Now, these happen to be mole bitters that we put together, but you can find a substitute at your local BevMo. I've seen Aztec chocolate bitters. I believe those are a Fee Brothers product. I've seen other mole bitters. Anything that has cacao notes as well as a little bit of spicy heat is going to work great here. So we're going to do 3 dashes of these bitters.
Is that the general, because you did 3 dashes on the last one too, is that kind of the general rule of thumb?
It is for me. I love bitters, but bitters, think of them like the salt and pepper of the cocktail world. They definitely add a complexity and an interest to your cocktail, but they're not for everyone. Some people don't add salt to their food. Some people don't only add pepper. Right. So use them as you see fit. A great way to find out if you like bitters, because they are an intense flavor, is to use this part of your hand right here, the little fleshy part in between your thumb and forefinger. Do a single drop, and then literally just lick it. You'll taste the bitters, you won't overwhelm your palate, and you'll find out if you like them. If you taste it and you absolutely despise it, you'll know not to add it to your drink. Good rule of thumb, right? So before we add ice and shake up this cocktail, we're going to talk about rimming our glass. So I kind of wanted this to be like a upside down witch hat, which is why we did the black.
I love it.
Cheesy but fun, I suppose. So we are doing an unconventional method to rim this glass, but it's a method I use a lot, and I actually prefer it to more of the traditional rimming techniques. And it's using olive oil to make your rim.
Yes.
It's so fun. It adds flavor, it adds mouthfeel, but it's also much more sticky than water, which is what most people use. They douse their glass in a whole bunch of water and then they ram it in all the salt and they wonder why it all falls off. So you don't want it to all fall off. Now, because I don't like wasting, I pour my olive oil, very small amount, into some kind of vessel, and I get dirty. I use my fingers. Now, some people may want to pour this onto a plate and dip it that way. That's a beautiful way to do it, but I don't want to waste a drop of my olive oil. So that's important to me. Do it however you like, but let me show you how to rim it with your fingertip. So you just dip your finger into the oil, and you twist the glass as you go, and you just create a nice little ring of oil. Now, you don't want to do so much that it starts dripping down the side of your glass, and you don't want to do so little that you can't stick any salt on there. Just enough. And if you notice, I'm not rimming the top of the glass. I'm rimming the side of my glass. And that is intentional. It's best to rim along the side. Now I am going to utilize a plate. I've crushed up some of the black lava salt. I love the big pieces for finishing. It sticks a little better to my glass when they're smaller. And I'm going to just take my glass and dip it into the salt along the side. I can do as much or as little as I want, but I do need to keep in mind, once I've started on salt, I can't really go back to the olive oil. So make sure you have plenty on there to create your rim. Now you can be creative with rims. You can go ahead and just do a part of the glass, just half of it, or you can go and do the whole thing. I love the way the black looks. It's so unexpected and so seasonal, I think, for Halloween to have a black rim, just spooky and fun. All right, so I've got my rim. This is my rim that I did earlier. It's all black and pretty. Finish my olive oil. And now I'm gonna shake it up. So I'm gonna take my cocktail that I haven't added any ice to. I'm gonna throw in slice.
While you're doing that, the question was, why do the side versus the top? Because I mean, I have the vision of like into the salt, and you're rolling it kind of. Mm-hmm. So teach us, because we're novices.
Sure. The main reason is because the presentation is much better. It also adheres better to the rim of the glass. You will actually get more salt. If you think about the surface area of a rim, right, it's very tiny. And that's fine. But what's going to ultimately happen when you dip it in this way is it's all just going to kind of fall off back into the drink once you tip it over. I don't want anything inside of my glass. I want to be able to select how much salt I have with each sip. So if you dip it on its side, better presentation and overall better impact when you enjoy your cocktail. You don't end up with a salty margarita, which nobody wants.
I get
so
it.
I'm going to shake my drink. People always ask me how long to shake and what kind of tricks to do. You don't need to do any tricks, but you should wait until the outside of your shaker looks a little frosty. That means your drink is cold. These shakers can be a pain to break apart. Tap them on the side of your countertop or hit them with the heel of your hand and the lid comes right off. Okay. And this is one of those instances where we're going to waste our ice. We are actually going to take our cocktail and strain all of the ice out of it. It's called serving your cocktail up without ice. Pour that right in.
So would this be considered a margarita style cocktail?
It is. It's a margarita riff. And okay. It's really fun to note with cocktails. It's kind of all been done. Everything is a riff on one of the originals. It's a riff on the old fashioned. It's a riff on the margarita. It's kind of putting your little twist on it. So as long as you're following those golden rules of mixology, you have sweet, you have acid, you have spirit, you're going to end up with a good product every time, something that's at least palatable. You may not love the finished results, but you'll probably at least agree that it's a cocktail of some sort. A lot of people think cocktail just means mixing a juice with an alcohol. You're missing very important components there oftentimes. You're missing the acidity and you're missing the sweetness. Juice and alcohol do not a cocktail make. You need a few other things to make it work.
I feel like I'm turning to all the fraternity and sorority people out there right now for that.
Yeah,
that wasn't the cocktail that you made in the punch bowl. No.
Not great. They can be great. You can get lucky, but you really want to try to balance that acidity and that sweetness. And that's really what we try to do with our mixers. We try to make it your bartender in a bottle so that all you need is this. Of course, you can plus it up and be your own mixologist by adding a beautiful salt rim, a dash of bitters, a little extra citrus, but really it's all you need. So by combining my acidity and my sweetness, I ended up with a cocktail. And this one is, I think, so good for Halloween because the color is so spooky. I'm almost afraid to drink it, but it tastes so good. So this is our really fantastic mezcal cocktail, La Llorona, and we're just so excited to try it with you.
Cheers.
Cheers.
Mm. Oh my gosh.
It's so fun.
There's so many layers of things going on right now. I'm still processing.
And that's one of the most fun parts about mixology is trying to uncover all of those mysterious layers that have been put forth for you. And I love the heat. I love the spicy finish.
And you're right. It's just peeking out. That heat is just there to like scare you a little bit. It's like a haunted house. Like it's just the mechanical cat that's going to come run out and then go back in. You're okay.
Right.
But it's there and it did its job. I mean, there's the sweetness, there's the acidity, there's the heat, the smokiness really, I can't imagine this drink any other way but mezcal. And I'm one of those people who feels like mezcal is kind of overdone in cocktails sometimes, where it's like, I did not smoke a cigar, I promise, but it just feels like it's there. Whereas this is, super on point. I love this.
Thanks. Yeah, it's fun. I think it's fun to have a little bit of each element. And although you don't predominantly taste the bitters with the cacao in there, there's something about that richness that you get from the chocolatey notes that pair so well with the smokiness of the spirit and the blood orange and the spice. It all works together in a really fun way.
Oh my gosh.
And I think the presentation is just so fun.
It's so beautiful. When I saw the pictures on Instagram, I'm sure that's why everybody's joined up. When I saw the pictures, I'm like, ooh, I want to go to that cocktail party. I really want to go to that Halloween party right now.
I think that you'll surprise your guests and yourself with this one. It's really, really fun. It's just a lovely cocktail.
Yeah. And I love the idea of having that, the sense of I think it's the cilantro lime olive oil that you use to rim the glass. So that's going to give that additional note and additional mouthfeel. So that's going to be on your lips a little bit too, which is part of the pleasures of adding an olive oil to the cocktail is waking you up to the fact that there is a mouthfeel portion of it. So the crunchiness of the salt and that smoothness, the smoothness of the olive oil there as well.
And it adds that fun little lime zip to each sip without actually having to be in the drink. It's just such a great way to use olive oil in a cocktail. You could use the olive oil that way for any margarita to do the rim. The cilantro lime works great. I think the traditional lime that you guys make is also perfect. I've done it many times. But any way that you can add a little extra herbal element in here too is exciting, which is why we love using the cilantro lime specifically, because it's just another layer of complexity to the drink, another flavor to keep you coming back for another sip. And it works really nicely.
I challenge anybody to serve this to somebody and have them be able to pick out all the flavors, because it's impossible. There are so many layers. It is, there have been a few cocktails that I'm like, I would seriously pay $20 for this, because this is one of those cocktails for sure.
Oh
It is
yeah.
gorgeous.
Yeah,
So
yeah, it's
yeah, your creativity is out of control, and it shows in all of the different products that you have. It's not once have I seen just like, lime juice or whatever. It's always, you're keeping us on our toes when it comes to the mixes that you create. They are fantastic. And are they seasonal? Because you have like the fir ones and that sort of stuff. Is that something that's
Yes.
seasonal, or is that all year round?
So we have started making things seasonal, particularly because, like you said, we get really overzealous and we want to craft as many things as possible because we get so excited. So yes, we have transitioned some of our flavors to seasonals. You'll be able to see which ones are seasonal when you view our website. So there are some that are sold out right now for the season. Our summer seasonal and even our fall seasonal smoked maple sour is already sold out for the season. And we're transitioning the end of this month into the stone pine and satsuma, which is a Douglas fir tip and tangerine. Amazing for champagne. Just such a fun cocktail, great for holidays. But yes, we have started making seasonals. We just can't keep up with our own imaginations, so we need to calm down on that. But yeah, we love bringing you things that you cannot find in the grocery store. That's always been our concept, that we don't want you to just buy orange juice from us or buy, lime juice mixed with sugar. We want you to have an experience. We want to empower people to be their own mixologists, to craft something exceptional at home and enjoy drinking at home. A lot of people think drinking at home is just a red Solo cup full of some type of cola and a shot of spirit. It can be so much more than that, and you really don't need much to put together a cocktail. I mean, today we've only used a few ingredients and things that, olive oil, vinegar, things that people have at home already. So all you need to do is just make your imagination run wild and you can make something awesome.
I mean, I have at least 4 or 5 of your bottles like going at all times because I want to, zuzz up my, my champagne, or I'm feeling creative and I just want a cocktail in it, but it has to be fantastic. The one cocktail, and it's like, yes, you can make it happen. You don't have to be stumped, and you turn the bottle around and you tell us what to put in it. So it's like, you're like, okay, you can use this, you can use that. So you give us so many options that you could use that one mixer for a ton of different things, which I love too.
Yeah, we want it effortless. We don't want people sitting there trying to figure out what the heck to do with this stuff. We want you making drinks, hanging with your friends over Zoom right now, and we're all at home drinking. Let's not lie. So it might as well be good. It might as well be fun and easy. And I know I don't want to create an explosion in my kitchen trying to muddle herbs and infuse syrups. I just want to open something and enjoy something. That's what cocktails are about. They're not really about the labor part. They're about the drinking part. So.
And what's nice is A, it can be shipped everywhere, and B, you don't have to go to the store specifically to buy a whole bunch of different fruits and veggies and whatever to muddle and all that jazz. I mean, we're all trying to keep the social interactions to a minimum. Going to the store is like this whole thing. So to just have that ready-made in your fridge and just turn up at your doorstep sounds fantastic.
Exactly. Yeah, it couldn't be easier. It's quite fun. So
and then
hope that everybody enjoys.
Local people can touch base with you and swing by and pick stuff up.
We do have contactless pickup, yes.
Cool.
So you actually just place your order on our website, just like you would a shipment order, but instead of paying for shipping, you just select local pickup. It's totally free service. You set your time whenever is most convenient for you, and it will be waiting in our curbside pickup bin for you to grab and be on your way. You don't even have to see us. So it's very quick and easy. But of course, if you want it shipped to your door, we do $10 flat rate shipping throughout the United States. Send it as a gift. And if you spend $100, you get completely free shipping. We also have mixology clubs, the Drink at Home Club, which we actually created long before coronavirus reared its ugly head, but it seems more relevant than ever. So if you want to be a part of the Drink at Home Club, you can join that as well. And then locally, we're in a whole bunch of stores. We have a map on our website. You can see where you can pick it up, call ahead, and get it on your next shopping trip. Make it really easy.
Nice. Oh, you guys have thought of everything. Thank you. So yeah, we've got the cilantro lime and the sparkling citrus. I put that in guacamole too, and sprinkle the black lava salt on top of the guacamole. So, I mean, there are so many options once you get these kind of bundles. So these bundles are not just for one. I mean, you can do the cocktail and make the guac and be just belle of the ball at that point. So you are all set with all of these goods. Hop on our website, pasolivo.com, to get our section of goodies for the cocktail. Hop on to yescocktail.co.com for their goodies, and follow them on Instagram, because you guys do videos sometimes, right?
We do, and we're always posting our newest recipes and ideas and special release products, so definitely check it out.
So that's a good way to catch stuff before it sells out, is to follow you guys. Okay. You guys are fantastic. Sorry about the technical difficulties. Thank you so much for the cocktails. I think everybody's going to be going home and trying to get them figured out tonight. So I'm looking forward to everybody take pictures and let us know how your cocktails turned out tonight.
Can't wait to see them. Thank you so much.
Cheers, guys. Salud. Have a fantastic weekend. I'm going to talk a little bit about next week, but I kind of covered a little bit too. You guys are at ease. You can hang out, or you can tap out and enjoy your cocktail. But again,
bye.
Bye. Yeah, so next week we've got Sweet Lou's. And Sweet Lou's is one of those places that once you turn up, you just fall in love with pretty much everybody who works there and all of their food. They have exceptional ideas for taking out, as well as things that you can eat. I think they've got outside seating. We've got that whole 25% indoors thing situation going on. So we're getting better. Paso, yay. So come back tomorrow. No, don't come back tomorrow. You can just watch me again tomorrow if you want, though. Next Friday at 2. And that is going to be when we feature, let's see, the Tuscan tomato focaccia. It's got cherry tomatoes tossed in a house-made pesto with buffalo mozzarella, drizzled with the Pasolivo Tuscan balsamic vinegar. And the focaccia is made with the Pasolivo rosemary olive oil. If you know me, you know that rosemary olive oil is probably my favorite. I know I'm not supposed to play favorites, but it pretty much is. So that is going to be, and once you have rosemary in your kitchen, especially during fall, it is going to be used all the time. Every potato on the planet, sweet potatoes, French fries, roasted potatoes, any game, if you're a meat eater, lamb, any of that sort of stuff, pork, turkey. Are we going to be eating turkey soon? Yes. Yes. I don't know if it's going to be with a big group or in a small group, but I am eating turkey. It is happening. So the rosemary is great on turkey, fantastic in that stuffing that you're going to be making. To me, I take it and put it on the table, and that is almost like the salad dressing for the meal. So that is something that you can take and drizzle over all of your plate. So get the bundle for next week, then you can follow along, make the sandwich, and then also have that rosemary to treat everybody for Thanksgiving as well. Not next week, the week after, we'll be doing pumpkin seeds. So get the kids involved. It is going to be kid friendly. I'm going to be cooking up a storm right here. And I'm going to show you a couple different ways to make pumpkin seeds and a few tricks to make it so that you're not messing with the slime and up to your elbows with slime, and a couple different flavor profiles too. So some sweet, some salty, some heat. So definitely follow along. It's always a pleasure having you. I am thrilled that you stuck with us for the whole time. Sorry about the technical difficulties, but we prevailed and we got some cocktails out of it. So woo, we're good. Have a fantastic weekend. I'm Eleanor, this is Pasolivo, and you guys are fantastic. Bye, guys.